Hi, my name's Zach, and instead of wearing a hat this time around, I'm going to be wearing a helmet. This is the helmet I got at the Renaissance Festival. If we're going off of what I'm about to summarize, you could say that my head is a little too big for this giant helmet, because it doesn't go down on my head all the way. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about The Mismeasure of Man, pages 92 through 104, and we're going to be talking about Morton today. Okay. Morton's studies purposely included smaller skulled people to bring the average down of certain races and drag up the average to show like the higher average for Caucasians in most cases. Morton, as I explained in a separate video, he was a weirdo who collected a bunch of skulls, and he had other friends who also collected skulls. One of his friends, George Glyden, had a collection of Egyptian skulls, and in one of the books that Morton created, he used some of Glyden's skulls. He would accredit the biggest Caucasian male skulls to his work. In most cases, I'm not sure if they were male or not. And for other races, like the African Americans, he would use smaller and flatter skulls to further drive down their average rate, as opposed to Caucasians or other races that he thought were superior to them. He didn't even bother to separate most of these skulls by their gender or the body sizes that they came from. He only separated them by the race. In many cases, many of the skulls he would have just outright ignored from including them in his work because they didn't help benefit what he was trying to get across. The existence of the Eskimos he outright ignores because they don't apply to his research. Because he had skulls that were Eskimo skulls, the groups that were in that area. He just didn't include them. Okay. He would put the categories he would make his skulls like have to fit into before he would include them in his work. There were 4 different reasons what he would do. 1, they had to be very inconsistent. So, bigger, very big to very small, so it would be easier to find a higher average. Let's see, the next reason. 2. They had to meet his standards for what the race were. So not very intelligent races of people were, he found the smallest skulls he could. 3. He could ignore things without it being an issue. So certain things that had to do with the skulls, just like he would outright ignore races, or he would ignore certain sizes of skull. And 4, he could omit what he wanted. It was his book, and at that time, no one cared that much, so he outright ignored certain things. He omitted the things that didn't apply to the work that he was doing. Okay. Polygenists at the time saw slavery in blacks as just a thing because they were unequal in a separate race. Polygenists would use the Bible as a blatant excuse for how Africans were treated. One man even tried to give disease names to mistreated slaves, like shortness of breath or trying to escape. Those were diseases. What Gould is trying to imply about Morton, that he was doing what he could to include in his work. He was trying scientific racism. What else can I say? He didn't like African Americans at the time. I'm pretty sure through his work that he didn't like African Americans at the time. And he did what he could to hinder their race. Alright, that's all I have to say. Have a nice day.